the movie industry has had an obvious nationalist programmatic character, propagandistic character, a function that has performed expertly. There is no movie that comes out of Hollywood that does not have the go-ahead from the FBI or the CIA, especially when it comes to American identity and military things and culture and all that, because it is a carefully crafted propaganda to promote the image of the country. Why do you think America was so strong to dominate the world? Is it not just because of their powerful military or economy, but it's also by their culture, the movie and Hollywood. And we're able to convince the world that this is the standard. The white, fair, blonde, blue eye on the Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, blue water beach. That is perfection of life. And everybody else in the world is dreaming about that. That, oh, I want to be like this. Because that is paradise, right? So it's carefully planted. So you can see with the movie. And then she goes in and talk about she gives many examples of movies. You know, one of them is the movie about first of all, the Native Americans, movie about the Native Americans, where even I in Africa, I know maybe you might go somewhere, we'll wrap up in 5 minutes. Let me just go quickly. I in Africa was rooting for the Westerners, for the white, in all the Western movies, because the Native Americans were portrayed as very dangerous. They will kill you without any like savages. They will scalp your head. So they will go look for white people as a bounty, kill them in a ruthless way, and scalp them and carry it as a bounty so when they depicted them like that, I was like, what kind of human being can be so cruel like this? So there's no way you can root for the Native American in American Western movie. No way you can root for them, because the way they depicted as those savage and all this kind of thing. And then you would root for the innocent white man and woman who is fighting for survival to maintain himself and all that, trying to kill those ruthless and murderous and primitive Native Americans. That is how it was portrayed in the movie. And that is how the whole world was rooting for the white people, when the truth was hidden, that they were the invaders going into people's land, killing them savagely, burning them and all that, raping their wives, taking their territory, pushing them out. They were not portraying themselves as doing that. They were portraying themselves as very skillful with their weapon and killing the primitive, non-human, subhuman who were killing innocent white people. So this is one way that they started changing your mindset, where you just root for them, identify with them without really understanding what is going on through media, right? And then she goes on to show another movie of 5 young British white guys that go into that as maroon in some kind of island, and then they had to face some other savage people there, and then they kind of confront the good and the bad, and the civilized against the non-civilized and all that, where the white were more advanced and civilized, and then those savage there did not have the luck to have a supervisor, a white supervisor, to train them and civilize them, so they were behaving in a certain way. So she mentioned that. And then another movie she mentioned is Charlton Heston. You know Charlton Heston, right? Who plays Moses. You know, the movie where he's in Latin America somewhere there, you know, as the one who has tamed a huge jungle around him and brought some kind of civilization in that jungle, and his white girlfriend comes from America to visit him, and then he says, civilization extends only as far as my hand can reach. Once you get beyond wherever my hand has touched, civilization will end and you get in jungle with the savages, right? Again, portraying, it's written there and I memorize it, right? Is there another example you can read? What? Now I'm at page 266, 267. Yeah, the movie is what is that movie again? She gives the title. Charlton Heston. The Naked Jungle, page 269. If you're on page 269. She said the 1954, in the middle of that page 269, the 1954 Hollywood film, The Naked Jungle. is a prototype of media interpretation of the saga Western Man, right? So when you have time, you can read that media and self-image and see all the image, the example that she's citing there to show exactly how they have perpetrated their image. When you say how can they develop something like that purposefully and then the world has to just follow along, because they're smart. They first build that knowledge with the Plato and all that, and created that image and infiltrated it through academia. All our books, history and everything in all school anywhere in the world pushes that image, and religion, Christianity, colonizing everywhere through Christianity pushes that image, and the movies and television and everything pushes that. It's synchronized. Science and everything, all of that is so synchronized in pushing that image. That's why everybody else is following along, because all reality that you have and know is only based on that reality that they give you, right? So that Charleston Heston movie, The Naked Jungle, the naked thing that I just told you, yeah, and he tells his white girlfriend who visits him, and then how his friend, savage African friend, but Latin American friend, is civilized because he's helped him to do that. And then there was the final scene in the movie where all the villagers are running away because of the soldier ants that are destroying the hills, and everybody's scared and run. He's the only one who says he's going to stay and fight it. And then in the scene they pitch him against a native healer who is like the elders of the village, that the whole village. Oops. Oh, my battery. Give me a second, because I'm using the internet from my phone, because the internet from the house is doing something and the battery just died. Give me a second. And then he has that interaction with the chief of the village, who is also like the healer and all that, and then in a way kind of defeat him. Like the chief of the village runs away and losing against the traditional Indian way of thinking, loses to the rational civilized man who is going to stand up for fighting the ants, and at the end winning, destroying the ants and all that. Again, so all of that, it's carefully designed. Look, even the movie Tarzan, she doesn't mention it here. Tarzan, Tarzan, who is the guy who live with abandoned with the lions and animals and everything, and conquers the animals and all that, becomes an animal himself. Who is Tarzan? White. Since when? In the African jungle is a white man Tarzan. So this is, and look at the movie. Go watch the movie. I watched it. Out of Africa. Another very, very out of Africa. Because there are two things. One, out of Africa theory to show you the evolution of humanity from Africa. But there's also another movie that describes what we're talking about how they use media to perpetrate their own image out of Africa. I watched it a couple of times. You have to watch it. I mean, it's interesting. Out of Africa movie. Yeah. So those are movies. If you have time, you can watch them. Like Out of Africa movie. The other one with the young boy who was marooned in some kind of jungle. And yeah, that paragraph, you can read that section. Yeah, it's fascinating. So that is how they were able to, to convince the whole world to just follow. And even in literature now, at the end of the paragraph or at the end of the chapter, 271. The European self-image in the literature. You can see, the descriptive term racism, if not inaccurate, is certainly misleading. It takes attention away from the very special nature of white nationalism, usually with the political objective of debunking any form of cultural nationalism, thereby ignoring the possibility of nationalist ideologies. So you can read that, right? So there's so many things fascinating in here, but we just don't have the time to go over all of that. But I'm just going to point it to you as you can read it in your own time. Page 273, you can read that paragraph there after the big quote citation. Yeah, and then page 275. the white will universally form a governing caste, directing by virtue of higher intelligence and more resolute will, and exploiting natural resources to the incalculable profit of the whole white race. Yeah. And again, that is a white thing. And then finally, this is actually very interesting. This is the apartheid in South Africa, where the white president there in 1985, Peter Botha, was saying, page 275 at the bottom, starting that quotation, my beloved white Afrikaners, greetings to all of you brothers and sisters in the name of our holy blood. That's the president, white president in South Africa during the apartheid. Pretoria, a city in South Africa, has been made by the white mind for the white man. We are superior people. The Republic of South Africa has not been created by wishful thinking. We have created it at the expense of intelligence, sweat, and blood. Intellectually, we are superior to the blacks. That has been proven beyond any reasonable doubt over the years. Isn't it plausible, therefore, that the white man is created to rule the black man? That's the president saying that in South Africa in 1985. And that concludes this chapter. So that is really something you can think about. An official statement that white is superior to black, and that has been all along the schedule, the plan.